Is the era of live service games coming to an end?
And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed, just to get it all out what's in my head, and
Not quite. But here's the bitter truth. Many are guilty of greedily squeezing every last drop from their player base, bombarding them with endless updates, rehashes, and gimmicky classifications like AAA or quadruple A. Yet despite these efforts, players are left feeling drained and disillusioned, wondering when the industry will prioritize their enjoyment over profit margins. In today's video, let's uncover the top 7 worst live service games ever. I'm Jimmy, and welcome to Playswap.
and I said, yeah, 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 yeah. I say, hey, what's going on?
Despite claims of fatigue, juggernauts like PUBG, Fortnite, Apex Legends, and the upcoming Helldivers 2 continue to rake in billions for their creators, with countless developers rushing to cash in.
16 times the detail. All new rendering, lighting, and landscape technology. It's 4 times the size of Fallout 4. And it's our biggest one yet.
My God, it was exciting.
Fallout 76 is a disappointing departure. The storytelling barely scratched the surface, and world building? It was practically non-existent. A Fallout game without NPCs is like a burger without the patty. It just doesn't make sense. Todd Howard's pivot to a live service model? A total disaster. It was supposed to be the next big thing, but instead it crashed and burned in spectacular fashion. Now let's rewind to Fallout 76 launch. Picture this. A dumpster fire.
You had horrible bugs and glitches pretty much right when you left the vault.
Servers as stable as a Jenga tower in an earthquake, players crashing left and right, and bugs galore. It was a QA nightmare. Then there's the shameless cash grab with microtransactions, especially that Fallout First subscription nonsense. Talk about squeezing players dry. Remember those collector's edition bags? Supposedly canvas, but in reality, more like cheap plastic. Bethesda tried to brush it off like it was no big deal, but players weren't having it. And who could forget the Fallout 76 branded Nuka-Cola Dark Rum disaster? Expected to be a taste of the wasteland, but tasted more like watered-down moonshine. Bethesda's excuse? Oops, our bad. Yeah, right. Bethesda's blunders with Fallout 76 highlight the importance of listening to your player base and delivering a quality experience. You can't just slap a beloved franchise on a half-baked game and expect players to accept it. Extends far beyond just financial losses. Bethesda's reputation has taken a serious hit. They've been throwing updates and patches left and right, desperately trying to prove they haven't completely lost their touch.
That's why I give my kids
Fallout 76.
And it tries. Oh my God, do I try? I try all the times. There's the juice.
Star Wars Battlefront II. Let me tell you, it's more than just a game. It's a wake-up call. A stark reminder of the dangers lurking behind the glitz and glamour of the gaming industry. We were promised an epic Star Wars experience, but what we got was a bitter taste of betrayal. From the very beginning, we were sold a dream, the chance to step into the shoes of our favorite Star Wars characters, to battle across iconic planets, and to immerse ourselves in the rich lore of the galaxy far, far away. But as we delved deeper into the game, we soon realized that this was not the experience we had been promised. Instead of epic battles and thrilling adventures, we found ourselves mired in controversy and disappointment. We watched in horror as the true extent of the game's predatory practices was laid bare for all to see. The pay-to-win mechanics, the loot boxes, the egregious microtransactions, it was like a slap in the face to every gamer who had invested their time and money into the franchise. And let's not forget the infamous Reddit post, the most disliked in history. It wasn't just a post, it was a rallying cry, a collective outcry against the blatant greed and deception that had permeated our beloved gaming community. We felt used, exploited, and discarded, all in the name of corporate profit. It's a stain on the gaming industry, a cautionary tale of what happens when greed trumps integrity. And yet, amidst all the controversy and outrage, there's a glimmer of hope. The backlash against Battlefront II was so fierce and widespread that it forced developers and publishers to rethink their approach to monetization and player engagement. It sparked a conversation about ethics and accountability in the gaming industry, prompting companies to reevaluate their practices and prioritize the player experience above all else. So while Battlefront II may have left a bitter taste in our mouths, it also served as a catalyst for positive change, reminding us that as gamers, we have a voice, and we're not afraid to use it. Hey guys, have you ever losing a lot of money when buying gaming accounts due to the fraud or receiving accounts with hidden issues? Buying or selling gaming accounts process is time-consuming and inefficient. Negotiating prices, verifying account details, and handling payments can become a hassle, or need immediate support from the marketplace platform. Unfortunately, you will have to wait quite a long time, taking away your valuable gaming time. But not with us. Playswap, all-in-one marketplace for gamers, will provide the best solution for your problem. First, Playswap implements a system where the payment is held until the buyer confirms the safety of the game account received from the seller. This ensures that buyers can purchase accounts with confidence, knowing that their payment is protected until they are satisfied with the transaction. Playswap streamlines the transaction process, making it quick and efficient. Users can easily browse listings, negotiate prices, verify account details, and securely handle payments, all within our platform. We promise to bring you the best after-sales service, live support 24/7. Playswap is an e-commerce platform catering to the gaming community, where you can buy, sell, and trade gaming products. This includes everything from in-game items and accounts to power leveling services of more than 300 games. Visit our website today at playswap.gg to discover your gateway to the vibrant world of online gaming. Next is Halo Infinite, the so-called savior of the franchise. You'd think with all the hype and anticipation, they'd knock it out of the park. But let me tell you, it's shaping up to be nothing short of a disappointment.
Look at where it is now. Halo 4 was not great. The Master Chief Collection was a disaster at launch. Halo 5 was very bad. Halo Infinite's campaign was very middling. And the multiplayer side of things, outside of those awesome sandbox fundamentals, the content, the modes, the whatever, all of that is quite dire in the context of what the market is delivering elsewhere.
This game nosediving into oblivion, and it's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. Want to know what really grinds my gears?
Couch co-op? It's been cancelled. The player base quickly became frustrated with the absence of key features missing from multiplayer, stuff like playlists for Slayer and a progression system that didn't suck and a cash shop that wasn't a total ripoff, etc.
After a decade at the helm of this beloved franchise, they managed to drive it straight into the ground. Sure, the graphics might blind you with their shininess, but where's the substance? It's like they're trying to distract us with flashy visuals to cover up the lackluster gameplay underneath. But hold on to your hats, folks, because it gets worse. Not content with just delivering a mediocre game, they've decided to throw microtransactions into the mix. Because, apparently, milking every last cent out of use-loyal fans is more important than actually delivering a game worth playing. At this rate, Halo Infinite is just another sad chapter in the franchise's downward spiral. It's like watching a once-proud titan crumble before our very eyes.
Any praise?
Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Set 5 years after the events of Arkham Knight, the game's storyline follows 4 supervillains: Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and King Shark. The squad is assigned the mission of countering an invasion led by Brainiac, one of Superman's most formidable adversaries. Brainiac nearly obliterates Metropolis and corrupts every Justice League member, except for Wonder Woman. Nothing interesting is done with the deaths of the League members. With superpower, the Justice League is just easy kill by gun, bullet, and by normal people. Batman. After 4 games of build-up, it's like they just tossed him aside. His death? Disrespectful and downright offensive. Despite being the big focus, and any cool Batman moments are constantly ruined by those annoying squad members. It's a real mess for the League, and honestly, it makes the whole Suicide Squad thing feel pretty lame. What we expect to see is this.
My turn.
While the combat and traversal mechanics offer some fun moments, the gameplay design comes with its drawbacks. Unlike the Arkham games, there's limited opportunity for meaningful interaction with the environment during gameplay. The focus on jumping and aerial abilities naturally limits the player's ability to fully explore and understand the environment. Warner Brothers says Kill the Justice League has fallen short of our expectations, a departure from Rocksteady's earlier titles. And hey, don't forget to like the video, and if you want to see more, let's subscribe to Playswap and hit the bell to know when we upload. Next stop, we go back to Marvel's Avengers. With the announcement at the peak hype of the MCU and being a Square Enix game, this was supposed to be the game to break the adaptation curse. Marvel's Avengers, the highly recognizable and beloved franchise, both from the blockbuster movie series and the extensive comic book history, and leveraging its popularity can be a strategic move in the gaming industry. However, Marvel's Avengers didn't live up to its potential. It fell short, leaving players feeling let down and unsatisfied with the experience. However, it seems nobody cares. Trust in AAA games is at its lowest, and 2020 stands out as the darkest time for gaming. We didn't think they could pull this off, even with Square Enix behind it. Firstly, many players expressed disappointment with the appearance of the characters in the game. They felt that the characters didn't match the iconic looks fans were familiar with from the movies and comics. Secondly, it's about the lack of post-launch content. The main story of the game was too short. After completing the story, players found there wasn't much else to do. There weren't enough new things to explore or challenges to take on, leading many players to lose interest. The game's loot system, where players collect gear, was dull. Missions became repetitive, with players having to do the same tasks repeatedly, and made players grind for items. Additionally, there were too many QuickTime events. They were overused and made the game feel less enjoyable to play. On top of all that, the game was riddled with technical issues like bugs and glitches. Some important Avengers didn't receive much attention in the story, disappointing fans who wanted to see their favorite heroes shine, rather than rushing development or relying too heavily on trends. The game's shortcomings highlight the importance of focusing on creativity and engaging gameplay. Financial reports suggest that Square Enix lost $200 million from its two Marvel games. This loss probably played a part in Square Enix deciding to sell Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal, the studios that made those games. Prepare yourselves for the grand disappointment that is Skull and Bones, touted as the quadruple A pinnacle of gaming. But brace for impact, as it's hurtling towards being Ubisoft's most colossal failure of 2024. While Assassin's Creed Black Flag sails in our memories as the epitome of pirate adventures, it's been a decade since its glory days. Ubisoft, responding to fans' cries for more high-seas action, embarked on crafting Skull and Bones. However, the unveiling shattered hopes, a jaw-dropping $70 price tag, coupled with a predatory live service model overflowing with microtransactions and battle passes.
So for $60 one fucking outfit? Fucking Ubisoft, are you kidding me?
Ubisoft promised quadruple A perfection, yet the reality is a grotesque mockery, with players railing against its abysmal graphics and laughable facial animations. Is this abomination truly worth $70? Let me lay it bare. The graphics on my PS5 are an utter disappointment, a slap in the face to next-gen expectations.
At an absolute stretch, a AA title, and realistically, I play many indie games that have better production values and more content at launch than this does.
Controlling my character on land feels like navigating through a quagmire, each step more awkward than the last. As for the main gameplay, utterly dull, devoid of any semblance of excitement or engagement. And the story, it's as stagnant as a swamp, barely developing beyond the initial premise. Voice acting? A roll of the dice, leaving important characters sounding as hollow as the game's promises. And don't get me started on the game's representation of its setting. It's like watching a historical reenactment put on by amateurs. Traveling by sea? A chore, devoid of any semblance of enjoyment or adventure. Naval combat? Passable, but hardly enough to salvage the sinking ship of disappointment. But perhaps the greatest sin of all. No interaction with my crew, no sense of camaraderie or leadership. To claim the title of captain is a hollow victory, a mere facade in a game devoid of substance.
The problem is not that it's $70. The problem is that the game doesn't have that value in the mind of the consumer.
The game became ensnared in a whirlwind of management changes and identity crises. Repeated delays saw cherished ideas from Black Flag discarded without ceremony. With 11 years and $120 million squandered, The game now resembles a sinking ship, its potential drowned by mismanagement. Adding fuel to the fire, whispers suggest Ubisoft made a binding deal with the Singaporean government, anchoring the project to an inescapable fate. This contractual obligation dictates that the game must be birthed and thrust into the world, regardless of its state of readiness or quality. Yet the specifics of this shadowy arrangement remain obscured, intensifying the intrigue surrounding this woeful saga.
So anyway, never touching this anal sewage of a game. Oh, I don't know. I was going to try it out.
Introducing Playswap, the brainchild of Market for Gamers, an all-in-one marketplace curated exclusively for gamers. As a specialized e-commerce platform, Playswap offers a sleek and intuitive experience for buying, selling, and trading gaming products. It's your ultimate destination for all things gaming, where enthusiasts can seamlessly connect and engage in the gaming community. This includes everything from in-game items and accounts to power leveling services and more. What makes Playswap different from other platforms? Low commission fee from 4.5%. Fast money release time. Trade Protect for buyer and seller. Large source of potential customers and sellers. Our Trustpilot rate is 4.9 out of 5, with live support 24/7 and 365. More than just an e-commerce platform, it's a vibrant community that brings together gamers from around the world, creating a space where they can connect, share their passion, and engage with like-minded individuals. Whether you're a casual gamer, a serious esports competitor, or someone looking to turn your gaming skills into a source of income, Playswap has something to offer. Visit our website today at playswap.gg to discover your gateway to the vibrant world of online gaming. Hey, remember that disaster Anthem? Man, the hype was through the roof when Ubisoft announced it. We were all psyched for this sci-fi FPS with Iron Man-like controls. But you know what? We were so blinded by the hype that we ignored all the warning signs during development. It's like we had blinders on, totally ignoring the red flags waving right in front of us. Then came the controversies, allegations of mismanagement, reports of a toxic work environment, and whispers of corporate greed driving the decision-making process. Yet, despite it all, we held on to hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, the final product would live up to the lofty promises made by its creators. Boy, were we wrong. From the get-go, the promises were sky-high. Amazing visuals, revolutionary gameplay mechanics,
But we do know that we can fucking fly through it like Iron Man.
and a story that would blow our minds.
Made by BioWare's A-Team is a colossal disappointment. Every single problem that plagued Andromeda is far, far worse here in Anthem. In fact, Anthem introduces a host of new problems owing to its choice of genre and the limited and uninspired way it chose to mimic the worst aspects of that genre without bringing anything of substance to compensate for this copy and pasted banality.
But as time passed, cracks started showing in the facade. On release, Anthem was a disaster from start to finish. Bugs, glitches, and tech issues plagued the experience. It felt like we were beta testers for an unfinished mess, and don't even get me started on the lack of content and repetitive gameplay. It was like Groundhog Day in space, turning what should have been epic into a joke. And let's not forget the microtransactions, a blatant cash grab that left a sour taste in the mouths of even the most die-hard fans.
I'm talking about the fact that there's only one map and every part of it looks the same. I'm talking about the most repetitive feeling campaign I have ever played in a looting game. I'm talking about storytelling that is a gigantic step back for these once proud master storytellers.
You'd think BioWare would have learned from their screw-ups, right? Nope. They tried to salvage Anthem with Anthem Next or Anthem 2.0, but that bombed too. It's a brutal reminder that even the coolest idea can't save a game plagued by incompetence and greed. A reminder to keep our eyes peeled and our expectations realistic. In the end, the game was a sad shadow of what it could have been. But perhaps the saddest part is that we bought into the hype, ignoring the signs and falling for the empty promises. Hey, listen up. Ever wonder why those darn live service games just won't disappear?
And I said, don't cry out loud. Just keep it inside. Learn how to hide.
I mean, seriously, think about it. Cosmetic horse armor rakes in more cash than StarCraft 2. Can you believe that? So here's the deal. If we stop throwing our money at these greedy developers, they'll have no choice but to change their tune. But let's get real here. We've seen a total shift in how these games operate, and it's not pretty. They need to step up their game, big time. No more half-baked content or shady practices. If they want our hard-earned cash, they better start delivering the goods, and that's not just a suggestion, it's a demand.